Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now, I have some very serious updates today, not only with the severe weather, also in the tropics. So make sure you share this video, like this video, leave a comment on what you think is going to come out of this tropical wave. Do everything you can to get this information suggested to new people, because there's a lot of dangers today and coming soon. Now, I'll come back to severe weather in just a second. Now, we have Invest 94L over here in the Atlantic. Still not going to affect the Northeast. You can see where it's going, but it could impact Bermuda, as well as we have this next area. I'm still showing it's just going to sit there and spin, go out to the Atlantic. But that wave we've been talking about, now National Hurricane Center does have an outlook for this activity. So I will leave timestamps in the description so you can go to whichever part you want to go to, because there's a lot of things going on. First of all, good morning, everybody. Now, we do have a lot of chances for the main threat is going to be straight line winds for today. And you can see the areas that are at risk for this chance for tornadoes. So as this front line moves forward, the winds are going to push it. There's going to be a lot of damage and wind gusts that's going to come out today, not really in the southeast. Now, there will be thunderstorms that will go all over into the Ohio Valley. It's just going to be rainfall. You're not even getting lightning. It's not going to be severe. And this is going to die down as it goes to the east. But for today, we do have this main threat, and they already had tornado warnings go all across Louisiana already, and there is going to be more for today. So let me get into the video. Remember, the timestamps are in the description to help save you time. And power is starting to go out. Remember, I have links in the description to show you all this information I am showing you guys. So far, Texas is at 153,000 without power. It is starting to come back a little bit. And Louisiana is at 11,000 without power. And this will move further to the east. This will cause trees to come down, and it will create power outages, at least for a little while, if not all day long. Plus, we do have this big group of disorganized thunderstorms is moving towards the Leeward and Windward Islands, and there is going to be formation. It's not just one weather model. I'm showing 3 models are seeing something forming out of this and strengthening it up. So I will put a timestamp for that, just so you know this will be going towards the Caribbean. This is what the outlook is for. And if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I've been talking about this potential for over 2 weeks now, and I'm showing our hurricane season could go all the way into December now. Now, the official information from National Weather Service for today, you are going to see thunderstorms and all of this green, including the Northwest. We do have this system coming in, still bringing y'all more rainfall and a little bit for the New England states as well. But there is a tornado chance still for today, a big 2% area and a 5% area, just like I showed you in the beginning of the video. And here's the cities and states that are at risk. The 5% area: Birmingham, Alabama; Montgomery, Alabama; Tuscaloosa, Alabama; Hoover, Alabama; and Decatur, Alabama. The 2% stretches all the way to Memphis, Tennessee; Nashville, Tennessee; Mobile, Alabama; Columbus, Georgia; and Jackson, Mississippi. So remember, time and date is always above my head so you can see it. So you can see as you go through today, you are going to have storms go all the way to the central U.S., the Ohio Valley, even up through Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, going to Michigan. Now, none of this is going to be severe for the Greater Lakes, but all this right here is going to stretch across Tennessee, Kentucky. It's going to be a nasty squall line through the south as well. And as it goes to the southeast, it's going to weaken down as it goes. But there is a chance for this still to stretch out into the Florida Panhandle and create this tornado chances past what we see this morning. You also can see in the lightning strikes that the thunderstorms does not reach way far high. It is lightning over here in Illinois, but you see where the severe is in the coloration of these lightning strikes. And the more lightning strikes, the purple is indicative to chances for hail. And when you have white, it's chances for large hail. So as we go through today, you can see there's chances for large hail as we go through 1 p.m. this afternoon. But you can see with the lightning strikes that as it keeps going, it dissipates, weakens down. So all them storms that go to the east, also for the Greater Lakes, that this is not going to be tornadic or really severe weather for y'all. It's just going to be some possible thunderstorms, a lot of rain coming towards y'all. That's it. Hopefully beneficial rain. Just be careful in case any kind of flash flooding that comes out of this. Now, you can see this morning with your dew points, it has very strong dew points. That's why you had these tornado chances. It was getting a lot of good shear, and these cells could be embedded into this front line, be some sleeper cells, so be aware of that. But as you go through the day, you can see the dew points do raise all the way up. Now, this is by 8 o'clock this morning, covering all Louisiana, Mississippi, getting into Alabama. But as you keep going, you can see Missouri kind of gets out of the picture, and you got Tennessee involved by 11 o'clock this morning. Still Mississippi, still Alabama, a lot of dew points. Keep these thunderstorms going. And as it goes to the east and throughout the day, you see how it weakens down. So once you get around 3 p.m., pretty much Tennessee is going to be out of play. You have some dew points, you will have some thunderstorms, but the lift is going to be gone and is going to be in the south. But this will carry south towards Alabama and the panhandle of Florida as you go through this evening, with some strong dew points in the atmosphere, help keeping these thunderstorms going. And that does create a lot of the buoyancy. So when you look at the Cape, you can see how you had some pretty weak Cape, but where the green touches the blue is where you still have enough to give you enough lift for tornadoes. That's why you have the tornado warnings this morning. Now, as you go through your morning, you can see all this does raise all the way up by 9 o'clock and stretching all the way down right about time you're seeing this video. But you can see after it goes by Tennessee, it does reach all the way up by noon, but then it starts dying down from Tennessee where you don't have the lift to create the tornadoes by 2 and 3 o'clock. But you do have it raising all the way up from Mississippi and Alabama, especially from 11 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You do have a lot of lift, and you have thunderstorms coming where it could really spin up a tornado or two, and then it starts coming down Alabama for the evening, and it stays around southern Alabama and the panhandle of Florida by later this evening. This is by HRRR. You can only see up to the next 18 hours to be accurate. So naturally, with all that buoyancy, you do have chances for your tornadoes to rise up. So by this morning, it's going through Arkansas. By the time you get into early this morning, around 9 and 10 o'clock, that's when it starts going by Tennessee. And then once you get to noontime, it leaves Tennessee, and all your tornado perimeter stays south. A really good hot pocket from 11 to 1, even 2 o'clock for chances for tornadoes out of these cells. 3 o'clock is very strong for Alabama as it keeps going south, with chances for tornadoes all the way till tonight. And you can see when this front line comes through that you do get some cells that pops up in front of this. Right around 11 o'clock, you do get some cells that pop up in front of this line, and that's where it raises up the most. And this is where you have your chances for tornadoes, even chances for water spouts. You can see how you get some nasty cells as well. Really strong cells that's passing by with this bowing that's creating these damaging winds. Just bowing all the way out. And these damaging winds will go past this tornado section. I will show you. Then as it goes to the east, you can see it still raises up. You're getting thunderstorms all the way from Kentucky, even further north, all the way down to Mississippi. But this is just for the tornadoes. And you see this line does continue to keep going to the east. By 8 o'clock tonight, you're going to have storms, but all your lift is going to be in this region. So Alabama, Panhandle, Florida. You need to be aware as you go into tonight, this tornado threat could extend a little further to the east. And so far with HRRR, you can see you're getting 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts. That is popping up in certain locations. I'm seeing a lot of 50s going on. I will show you it's also for Oklahoma. But for the tornado chances, it will pretty much be high 30s to 40 miles per hour wind gusts in this area. Now, be forewarned, every map always has this yellow for 50 or more miles per hour wind gusts. High 30s to 40s is always the green to the bright green. There is a map out there that people like to use, and it shows high 30s in the yellow. And high 30 miles per hour wind gusts is not going to be as bad as the 50s, what people are used to seeing with the orange. So if you see a big map that has all this in yellow, remember to look to the right side. You'll see that this is 30 to 40 miles per hour wind gusts. It's not 50 and 60 and 70 like I'm sure you'll be told. But when you run it all the way through, you can see it is bringing high winds with this system. As it goes through Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, look at this bowing out in this. This is all 40 to 50 in the orange and 60 in the red. Miles per hour wind gusts come with the system. Even southern Wisconsin getting in on some of those winds. And you can see how it dies down as it goes to the east. It don't stretch super far. Maybe the higher elevations of western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee could see up to 50, even high 50 miles per hour wind gusts, but it does die down as it goes to the east with the winds. And if you watch it, you can see it by hour instead of the full thing. You can see that a lot of people is in the high 20 miles per hour wind gusts. But right around this surface low is right where you have the 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts all morning long, even going 50 and 60 up there for Missouri. So be careful, Missouri, Arkansas, y'all do have chances for these thunderstorms to get pretty severe. But as it goes to the east, you can see how everything is just 30 to 40 miles per hour wind gusts, and the blue is the 20s. It really dies off. So when you look at it by the hour, you can see it's really dangerous and strong all the way till you get about 6 or 7 o'clock for Illinois, because Missouri shows a really good hot pocket for damaging wind gusts. But as you go to the east, everybody else is just going to be in the high 40s as this changes to 30s and 20s. And it really don't bring much to the east after that. After that, it all dies down to 20 miles per hour wind gusts coming with this system as it continues to go to the east. So it's not going to be widespread 50s. Just be aware. Plus, by Thursday going into Friday, that next one coming in that I showed you yesterday, there is a severe weather outlook. I am still showing it is still weaker than what you're dealing with now, but there is a severe weather outlook for Thursday going into Friday. And you can see the difference. This is us this morning kicking off all these cells in front of it, creating these thunderstorms, but you can see how strong it is. This is the one that's coming in Thursday to Friday. It is a lot weaker, but it is going to create some severe weather with it. It's just not going to be as strong as today. But there's some thunderstorms and severe weather that will be coming Thursday and Friday with this system as well. And as far as the wind gusts, it's going to be bringing high 30s to 40s, even possible 50s for New Mexico as you go into Thursday. But once you go into Friday, it stays around western Texas, even southern Texas, 40 chances for high 40s, maybe even getting into the 50s. But you can see how it weakens down after it moves along after that. You can also see with your winds that it's not getting a lot of shear for Texas. There is a chance for thunderstorms and all this, but it's not getting the dark brown, not even the whites. It's not getting any of that. But once it moves to the southeast, it could get some shear where you could get a portion of severe weather, especially for Mississippi as you go through Saturday. That brown is a light chance, but it's a lot stronger chance than what Texas is going to have because you're not even getting the browns. But Mississippi could see some severe weather, maybe Tennessee and Kentucky after that as that moves along. It's still a little too far to be sure. It's still 5 days away for the south to be impacted. It's a few days. It's Friday, it will be here. And when you look at the lightning strikes, you see it does create some chances for hail and all of that purple. But as it moves along, it brings chances for large hail in that white. Then as you go through Friday, you see that white. As you go through Friday, it goes through Texas and goes through the south. So there's going to be a lot of storms for Texas, chances for hail as you go through Saturday, covering Louisiana, going up Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama. Another chance for some more thunderstorms coming with that next system. And probably some good chances for severe weather, probably for Louisiana and Mississippi. So we do need to keep an eye out on that. So your 8 o'clock update with National Hurricane Center, the invest is at 40% in the next 48 hours. 40% in the next 5 days. That's just because it's about to possibly impact Bermuda, so they can put watches out for the impacts. And you see there is a chance for this system to become a short-lived tropical depression as it appears to be decreasing because it is moving northward towards cooler waters and unfavorable upper-level winds. So with the shear and the temperatures, this won't survive. It's just a warning for Bermuda. And this system is just going to sit here all the way through this weekend and just strengthen up a little bit as it goes along. It's on 30% in 5 days. And the one we've been looking at, the new one, the Disturbance 3, is at 20% chance in 5 days. Environmental conditions are forecasted to be conducive for gradual development as the low drifts westward or west-northwestward over the eastern Caribbean this weekend. Now, Bermuda that invest by 2 p.m. today will be right around you and chances for some winds coming along. 25 to 30 miles per hour wind gusts could be your potential impact. And when you look for the rest of the U.S., you can see there's not going to be any impacts in the next 5 days from this system. It's going to strengthen out and go out to the Atlantic. It always showed that. Also, the rainfall. Bermuda, you could get 1 inch, maybe up to 2 inches of rainfall, maybe 25 to 30 miles per hour wind gusts as this passes by. But you see the rainfall is not going to the northeast neither. There's not going to be no additional impacts from that invest. And as we look at global tropics, we're still seeing a chance for formation in the Caribbean out of what National Hurricane Center is picking up now from October 26th to November 1st. Matter of fact, when you check for chances for formations with the SpaghettiOs with the Euro, you can see by November 1st that literally something could be forming up and going towards Nicaragua and Honduras and possibly swing around a high pressure and strengthen up, guys. GFS is showing the same thing, but it's showing it could strengthen up sooner. It's showing literally by the 30th, in 6 days, it could be strengthening up in the Eastern Caribbean and go a little bit further to the north and strengthen up, or it could go just like the Euro seeing by the 3rd, beginning of November, could form up by Nicaragua, Honduras, still strengthening up and going around a high pressure. So the Euro is literally seeing by the time you get to November 1st, it could strengthen up a chance, and it does see it go by Nicaragua and Honduras and start doing a curve. And once again, I bring up Hurricane Mitch because this is what this reminds me of. Hurricane Mitch, October 22nd through November 5th, a very devastating hurricane. It took the lives of over 9,000 people in Nicaragua and Honduras, over 9,000 people missing, plus you had a big outbreak of disease after that. Then it curved around, went by the Yucatan, and went across southern Florida and the Bahamas and went out. It was a very devastating hurricane. And this is a path, not necessarily the strength, but this is a path that we could see out of this. So as we check and see what's going on with the data, I will show you the data, but let's see what the models are showing, because definitely by Friday and Saturday, when we get that system coming towards Texas, you can see how much weaker that actually will be. But there is that little chance, that little storm in Atlantic, to just circle around still and just do nothing. But you can see, according to the GFS, that literally a little over 5 days, something does form up in the Eastern Caribbean. And so far what we have on the 0Z is it goes west, right by Jamaica once again, by November 4th. Does go by Nicaragua and Honduras, while we get a potential another one that spins up real quick. Could be affecting Puerto Rico by November 6th. We have a lot of lift. And you can see that first one goes right towards Cuba. It just curves right back around, kind of like what Mitch was looking like. While that next one just gets really big, really strong in the Atlantic. Now here's another model that sees it, the Canadian. In 5 days, it sees it weaker, a little bit further to the west. And as it keeps going, you can see, according to the Canadian, it also strengthens up very strong, could be affecting Jamaica, Nicaragua, Honduras, and goes west, right into the Western Caribbean, goes right towards the Yucatan. Now, the one thing that's going to make a difference is the latest run with the GFS, and that's why I'm showing you, because the 0Z, 12Z, 2 times a day, hundreds of meteorologists put weather balloons up to get this data. So it's the most accurate weather models to go by. When you go by the 6 or the 18, which is a different run, they're not using weather balloons. So take those with a grain of salt. Also take GFS with a grain of salt, but it's being seen by multiple models. So as it comes through, you can see you get a cold front right around November 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, just hovers that thing to the south where it just cannot come north. It just does a lot of impacts in the Caribbean all the way to the 9th. Now the previous runs, the 18Z did show almost the same thing, and it curved sooner. A big nasty storm that grows up. Then the one after that, you have the 12Z. The one right before that, sorry. You can see the one right before that, it showed almost what we're seeing this morning on the 0Z. That's why I said the 0 and the 12 are the most accurate, as it comes right into the Gulf of Mexico. So there's been a lot of models showing this formation. So when you go to the NASA satellite, it's not the GFS, it's not the Euro, it's not the Canadian. This is the GOES satellite. So as you check it, you can see there is some moisture. It does group up sometime a little bit less than 4 days, and that does go towards Nicaragua and Honduras. But you can see another wave forms up literally a little over 5 days, just like GFS is showing, and it does strengthen up, go towards Jamaica, and just strengthen up right there. And so far, that's bringing a low pressure as well. So you can see, according to the one Thursday and Friday for Texas, not too strong. It could get into the Gulf right there and strengthen up just a little bit as it goes to the southeast. Maybe that's why we're seeing worse storms for the southeast. You can also see the one Atlantic is just sitting there getting blocked by the high pressure and just goes out to the east at the same time. The GOES satellite is seeing a surface low by October 29th, and it does travel to the west and strengthen up right over Jamaica. Strong system, possible low-grade hurricane, weakens down, what we can see. And what I can see in a lot of these model runs, is this thing is going to be wobbling all over the place with these cold fronts. So it is going to be a very unpredictable wave. And these cold fronts are unpredictable as well. So you check with Arctic Oscillation with GFS, see if there's any cold air coming down. You see it did show we had some cold air coming down in the beginning of November, but the latest run, it has taken it away and says it's coming later, maybe around the 5th or the 6th, some cold air coming down. So when you check what chance for North Atlantic Oscillation, where you go into a high ridge or a deep trough that's coming in like you just saw and blocking this system, right around the beginning of November, there's nothing all the way to about the 2nd or 3rd. It is showing there is a little trough coming, not as deep as before. So this will let this system go a little bit further to the west. So far, it's showing the trough will probably be later when we get that colder air. Also with the Euro, you can see this with the Euro, whether it's going to a deep trough or a high ridge with an NAO. You can see it's going to be a gradual drop. And there's going to be a little trough right around the 5th or 6th. And it's going to be later around the 10th or 11th when this trough is coming down to the southeast. So this data is saying that this model runs will catch up, just like we seen the one going to the Gulf. Not saying it's going into the Gulf, but there will be a trough to block this system somewhat, but it's not going all the way into the Caribbean, and it's not going to be the very beginning of November. It's going to be a little bit later. So as we check the ensembles and see what the more than likely outcome is. Just going by this one right here, the control member, the rest of them, you're going to see all kind of scary stuff. Let's just stay to the facts. So the control member shows that by the time this starts forming up, you get an upper level low by the 31st, and it starts moving west through the Caribbean, just like the GOES and the GFS is seeing. It goes right by Jamaica by November 4th, and it keeps going to the west. As this high pressure, instead of moving east, it's moving east-northeast. So instead of swinging this around, this is swinging this in a northward direction. It swings it around Cuba, Bahamas, and maybe sit there for a while and spin. So we definitely need to watch this, especially since the control member of the ensembles is seeing the same thing, guys. Plus, when you look at your potential velocity anomaly of favorable environment or unfavorable environment, according to the GFS, we're going into a very favorable environment and strengthening it up as we go through the first week and beyond of November. Now, the Euro sees this as well and getting stronger as it goes from the 5th through the 10th. And the long range of the Euro is showing that this hurricane season could last even longer. Literally, after we deal with this next potential tropical wave, we go into unfavorable environment for a while, but then it comes back. It comes back in the middle of November, even possibly the beginning of December down here. So I'm showing our hurricane season could go a little further along, guys, than just the end of November. So please share this information I have shown you. Let others know what is coming, guys. A lot of people that I've been talking to showing this information, they're telling other people this does not exist. It's being picked up by National Hurricane Center for the next 5 days now. Please share the information. I couldn't beg you enough to help this video get out to other people. I appreciate you for helping. Now today I want to give you a little word about peace. Psalm 119. Verses 162 to 176. I rejoice at thy word as one that findeth great spoil. I hate and abhor lying, but thy law do I love. 7 times a day do I praise thee because of thy righteous judgments. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Lord, I have hoped for thy salvation, and done thy commandments. My soul hath kept thy testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. I have kept thy precepts and thy testimonies, for all my ways are before thee. Let my cry come near before thee, O Lord. Give me understanding according to thy word. Let my supplication come before thee. Deliver me according to thy word. My lips shall utter praise, when thou hast taught me thy statutes. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. Let thine hand help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight. Let my soul live, and it shall praise thee, and let thy judgments help me. I have gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments. Amen. God bless you all and protect you all today. I wish the best for every single one of you. Thank you so much for your time today. All glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. Pray to him. He loves to answer prayers. And I pray that he keeps all of you safe forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great day, everybody.